The warehouse at 2 a.m. They said the job was easy. Monitor the security grid, patrol the aisles, and stamp the logbook at each hour. The warehouse stood on the edge of a town that slept early, its concrete bones humming with the quiet of things stored but never touched. By midnight, the world outside the chain-link fence would dissolve into darkness, and I'd be alone with the ghosts of pallets and the sigh of air ducts. My first week, the shift was a monotony of blinking sensors and the occasional raccoons skittering through the scrapyard. I'd listen to old radio dramas to fill the silence, the static laced with the low creak of the building settling. The warehouse had a rhythm, its own breath, shallow and steady. I learned to count the groans of the roof as I walked the aisles, ticking off rows of climate-controlled boxes that held, presumably, office supplies. Or so the manager claimed. Then, on the 10th night, I noticed the clock was wrong. Midnight struck, and my watch read 12 o'clock, but the digital sign above the guard station glowed 12:01. Nothing. Just a 1-second lag, maybe a glitch. But when I checked again at 1 o'clock, the same 1-second gap had grown. My watch said 1 o'clock, and the clock said 1:03. A bad connection, I told myself, though the discrepancy followed me in increments, like the building had its own sense of time. The second week, the hum in the vents changed. It sounded like whispering, low and fractured, as if someone were trying to form words through water. I paused my radio and listened. Nothing but the usual sighing, until the third night, when I caught a phrase, "Don't go past row 17. I turned sharply, but the security cameras revealed only shadows pooling on the floor. By week 3, the aisles felt longer. Rows that once ended at the west wall now curved into blind corners I didn't remember. I traced my flashlight beam along the product labels, office chairs, filing cabinets, desk lamps. But when I reached row 17, the boxes were different. Their surfaces were slick and featureless. No labels, no barcodes. I didn't touch them. The air grew colder there, and the whispering stopped. The logbook started filling with entries I didn't write. At first, it was just times. 114, 206, 329, scrawled in a jagged hand. I blamed the previous supervisor, a man I'd never met who'd quit without notice. But then I found my own name, written in the 4 a.m. slot on a night I'd called in sick. Beside it, a circle of slashes. X, 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 X. Not a threat, just a count. A tally. The clock above the station quit working entirely. Now, I relied on my watch, though sometimes it slowed, as if the warehouse were pressing against it. The whispering returned, clearer this time. "They're sleeping. Don't wake them." I stopped patrolling row 17, but the boxes there began to pulse faintly, like something alive just beneath the surface. I didn't report it. The manager had shrugged off my questions about the missing keys, the phantom entries, the way the fence now seemed to loop back on itself if you walked it too slowly. Last night, I found the photograph. It was tucked in my locker, though I'd never placed it there. A grainy image of the warehouse, taken from the road, but the date on the corner was June 14th, 1987. A date I'd recognized from the logbook's earliest pages. Entries smudged with age, signed by men whose faces I couldn't recall. The photo's edges curled inward, and in the shadow of the warehouse's west wall, a figure stood just outside the frame. Not a person. A shape. I haven't patrolled since. I sit in the guard station, watching the clocks, the sensors, the way the shadows in row 17 deepen as the night wears on. The whispering has stopped. Now, the building breathes in sync with me, its pauses matching my own. I think the boxes are opening, not all at once, just one at a time, slowly. It's quiet out here. The radio's dead. My shift ends in 2 hours. I've packed my things. The door to the warehouse latched behind me with a sigh, as if it were disappointed. I won't look back. I won't check my watch, even though I swear it's slowing again. The truck starts with a groan, and I drive toward the town that sleeps early, toward the fence that might not be there if I look too closely. But the mirror shows nothing behind me. Just an empty road, and the clean, dark hush of a building holding its breath until I'm gone. Story 2. I started working nights at the Meridian Life building 6 months ago. It's one of those mid-rise offices in the industrial stretch south of the city. Clean lines, tinted glass, quiet as a museum after 5. Day workers vanish fast. You'd think they're scared of missing the last train, though there isn't one. By 6:15, it's just me, the hum of the HVAC, and the faint blue glow of emergency exit signs. I'm not here to clean so much as preserve. Dust, empty bins, wipe the lobby counter, nothing heavy. My supervisor, Mr. Ellery, showed me around once. Short man, breath smelled like boiled cabbage, and reminded me, don't touch the records, don't wander, and don't go above the 3rd floor. Maintenance only. I didn't question it. Night work teaches you not to ask. You accept the odd rule, the stale coffee in the break room, the way some doors don't quite latch. The first sign it wasn't right was the silence. Not absence of sound. There's always the groan of pipes, the ping of cooling metal. But the way sound moved. Or didn't. Footsteps didn't echo. My own breathing seemed muffled, like the air itself was thick. I chalked it up to fatigue. Back then, I was still adjusting to sleeping days, working nights. I'd wake disoriented, sun glaring through blinds I hadn't closed properly. That kind of distortion plays tricks. But then the elevator started stopping on 4. The panel only goes up to 3. I checked the first week. Ground, 1, 2, 3, lobby, basement. That's it. Yet nearly every night, around 1:30 or so, I'd press the call button, step in, and the car would shudder. Once, twice, then glide past 3 and settle gently on a floor that didn't exist. The doors would open. Just darkness. A narrow slit of black, no light, no corridor. Sometimes I smelled something faint, wet paper, old carpet. I'd wait. The indicator above the door would flicker. 4. Then, after a breath, it would drop back down. Doors closing. I started taking the stairs, but the 4th floor wasn't just on the elevator. I found it in the blueprints pinned to the janitor's closet wall. Faded, curled at the edges. Ground, 1, 2, 3. Basement. No 4. I asked Mr. Ellery during his monthly check-in. The drawings are wrong, he said, not looking up from his clipboard. Old plans. Disregard. I nodded. But late that night, alone in the basement, I compared the blueprint to the actual stairwell signage. The metal plaques were new, shiny, stamped with floor numbers. 1, 2, 3. Then below it, half covered by peeling paint, 4. Like it had been added later, hastily. I didn't go up. Instead, I began noticing other things. The trash bins on the 2nd floor were always empty, even though the legal team worked late. I'd come in, bin in hand, and find it spotless. Lid closed, no trace of coffee cups or paper. Yet their desks were littered with crumpled drafts, sticky takeout containers. It didn't make sense. Then the phone started ringing. Just once a night. Always on the 3rd floor. A single low ring, BRRT. Then nothing. I'd track it down. Always a different desk. Always dead. No dial tone. Once I picked up. Just silence. But as I hung it back, I thought, just for a second, I heard someone breathing. Not on the line. Behind me. I turned. The office was dark. Desks shadowed under the glow of my work light. Nothing moved. After that, I stopped answering them. The worst was the bathroom on the 3rd floor. Nothing visibly wrong. Just the mirror. At first, I thought it was condensation, but it wasn't steam. It was too dry for that. The glass would be fogged, just above sink level, as if someone had breathed on it. But the taps were cold. No heat in the pipes. One night, I wiped it clear. My reflection stared back. Pale, tired, stubble thick. I turned to leave. When I glanced back, The mirror was fogged again. But this time, something was written in the mist. Just two numbers. 147. I checked my watch. 146. I didn't wait. I've stopped using the third floor now. Stick to lobby and basement. Mop the same tiles over. Empty bins that aren't full. My routine's tighter. I don't linger. Don't look into offices. Don't let the silence press too hard against my skull. But 2 nights ago, the elevator stopped on 4 again. I didn't call it. It came on its own, doors sighing open at the end of the hall while I was emptying the basement bin. I didn't move. Just watched. From where I stood, I could see into the car. The number 4 glowed above the door. Inside, the back wall was wrong. It wasn't mirrored like the others. Just dark. And in that dark, something stood. Not a shape, not a figure, but an absence. A patch of deeper black, tall, upright. Still. It didn't move. I didn't move. After a long while, the doors closed. The car descended. The indicator blinked out. I finished my shift. Left at 5:58, as always. This morning I found an envelope in my locker. Plain white. No name. Inside, a single key. Old-fashioned, iron, with a chipped black handle. And a slip of paper. For the 4th floor. You're due an inspection. No signature. I haven't told anyone. Haven't called in. I don't know if I'll go tonight. But I keep thinking, what if it's not waiting for me? What if it's waiting for me to stop going? The building's quiet. It always is. But now, when the silence stretches too long, I wonder if it's not empty. I wonder if it's holding its breath.